How's it, people? First video in a while. I'm going to make it a good one. Everybody likes bread. Fresh bread is just one of those basic things that everyone loves. And I'm going to do a South African way of doing it. It's Roosterkoek. We do it on the grill, on the braai. So I've got half a litre of hot water, warm water. Now I always put some sugar in at this stage and my yeast. I don't add the salt yet because you don't want to kill your yeast, and yeast does not like the salt much. So I always start with these, mix it around just a little bit. You're not going to incorporate it. You could, I suppose, if you want, let this sit for 5-10 minutes, let it froth up, make sure that your yeast is still alive and still viable. I'm never ever bothered. I always trust that it works, and so far I've been lucky, so I'll continue to do it my way. Then you can start adding some flour. Now this is just all-purpose flour. There's nothing special about it. Nothing complicated. I start by mixing using a spoon or something. If you had a stand-top mixer or whatever, you could do it with that, a KitchenAid or whatever. It'd probably make it a little bit easier, but why does life need to be easy? Now that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to kill my yeast anymore, I'll add my salt. Let's see how much I need. I'll probably go for about 1.5 teaspoons into my half litre of water. Now if you want, you could have used beer for this. You could add some grated cheese, you could add some sauteed onion, olives, sun-dried tomatoes. You could make this as fancy as you want, but today I'm just going for a very basic plain bread dough. When you make Roosterkoek, it's not all that important or necessary to make a really soft dough. It's actually better if it's a little bit hard. You don't want it falling through the grates. It's just a lot easier to work with over the coals as well. This is way too wet, way too soft. So we'll add a little bit more flour. And this is the way that I bake bread. I don't measure anything. I always start off with half a litre of liquid. And you could use milk, you could make your bread using basically anything. Today it's just plain water. Now it's time to start getting hands dirty. I'm quite happy with that. I will leave this now for about half an hour, 45 minutes, let it rise, and then we'll start forming it into our little Roosterkoeks or bread rolls. For now, I think it's time to go outside, get a fire going. Join me there. So our Roosterkoek, it has to be cooked over coals. It's the only way you can do them. So today I'm going to be doing them using the weather. It's about 0 out here. We've got snow on the ground, as you can see, but it's never stopped me from braaiing or from cooking outside. So come in a bit closer and I'll show you how I do it. So I'm doing this, as I mentioned, on the Weber. I suppose I use both words, change them about, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to use a fire starter that I would use. Then we're going to resort to take 2. So this is take 2. When the steady little lighter doesn't work, then we get the better one. And that works first time. So I'm just using briquettes. I'm going to use a little bit of hard charcoal. Start them off. It'll take about half an hour to get some nice coals going. Once this is a little bit further along, I'll go roll out some dough balls, some bread rolls, and we'll come cook them over the fire. It's been about 40 minutes or so. See what our dough's looking like. Pretty much doubled in size, I would say. Time to get it out onto a floured board. You don't want it sticking. It just makes it more and more difficult to work with. My dough is fairly soft. Going to flour it a little bit, knock it back because it's going to still rise again while the coals are coming along. This is going to rise a lot up again, but got quite a nice dough, and need to portion it out. Quite sure how many I'm going to make out of this. Do they have to be the exact same size? No, they don't. Make sure you've got a lot of flour on your board. It also helps when the Roosterkoek have quite a bit of flour on them, because they're not going to stick to the grates of the grill. So flour is your friend, especially for this. That's looking okay. No idea how big they are, not going to weigh them. They don't have to be the same size. And then it's basically roll them. Now I can't really explain how I do this. I press down and I kind of get it in with my thumb. If you're really good, you can do it with 2 hands and you end up with a nice ball. There you have the dough balls rolled out. Going to have to check on the fire, see what's happening, and meet me out there and we'll get these cooking. We have our coals. They grade over. It's not terribly hot. If I was cooking steak, I'd want it to be hotter, but I think this is pretty good for our Roosterkoek. basically flatten it out a little bit and stick it on the grill. Take into consideration that they are going to increase in size a little bit. You don't want them touching each other. One final look. I think it's time to take these things off. Pretty sure they're done. Now for the ultimate test. What do these taste like? They feel like really nice bread rolls. The smell of these is really incredible. I think it's time to have a look. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. I think it's time for a little bit of butter. Or why not a lot of butter? And see what it tastes like. Fresh bread. It really doesn't get any better than this. Hot off the coals. Something you've got to give it a try. It's easy to do. And it is so tasty. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. There will be more coming. Apologies yet again for taking too long between videos, but I will try and up my game. Feel free to let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see. Looking at the stats, it seems that videos with a South African flavor are more popular. Let me know if there's something you'd like to see me do. I'll do it if I can. Cheers, people. Keep well. Take care.